Hello everyone, the fourth chapter of history, the Vedic age. So this is a chapter from the previous we have studied Harappan civilization and also the Indus Valley. So this is after many years it got more developed, means more advanced. So in that same places like in the Saraswati near and the river of Indus. So now they call this culture the Vedic culture. So this culture they name themselves as the Aryans. So the word, what is the meaning of the Arya? Means the best or cultured people, those who have developed or those who are more higher than anything else. So that's why they call themselves Aryans, the best and the cultured. So now we will be studying about this Vedic age and their culture and their all the backgrounds and how they developed after uh, settling there in this chapter. So, what is a literature? So, the Vedic literature is an ancient literature of the world. So, it contains profound knowledge such as literature was not seen anywhere. So, the language of the Vedas is ancient Sanskrit. So, Vedas are four in number. So, what is the first one? Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. So, this is called Shruti literature. So, Shruti means that which is heard, so it was not written down, it was just verbally transferred. Okay, so this is verbally transferring, hearing from the word of mouth from the teacher, then the students would listen to it and learn it by repeating it loudly. So it was transferred verbally from the students, from the teacher, then students. So they made other disciples. In that cases it went on simply passing from another to another person. Okay, so from one generation to the other they passed this. So in that way they preserved this literature. That's why it is known as a very ancient literature, very very old, means very early. Yeah, it was made, and still it is getting it is preserved with from the verbal manner. So Rig Veda is the most ancient text of the world. The mantras are called Sukta. So what is meant by Sukta? Sukta means spoken correctly. So gods and goddesses are praised in these Suktas. So what is there in this book Sukta? Gods, about the gods and goddesses. So they have been praised in this book, in this text Suktas. So its study reveals details information about the period. So now we have divided into two categories of Vedic age. First one is Rich Vedic or early Vedic period, and another one, number two one is later Vedic period. So first one we see what is Rich Vedic or earlier Vedic period. So during the earlier Vedic period, people lived in a region called Saptu Sindhu. Okay, so Saptu Sindhu means seven rivers. So the area was covered with the river Indus and its tributaries. So the location is in the map, you can find out. So the main occupation of the people was cattle rearing. So cattle rearing, a lot of different kinds of domestic animals, and they used to take care of it. So they also grew wheat and barley. So but farming, the farmers were not they were not having the main occupation as farming. So they worshipped cows and they whatever they get from them, milk, butter, ghee, whatever, etc. They lived in that way. So horses were also useful for them, and they used for other transportations for traveling and all. So here are the map which is shown. What is that? They where they located. So you can see in your textbooks. So beside cows and horses, they domesticated other animals. That is goat, sheep, dogs, and also other animals. So they graze their cattle in a common grazing field. So they have a lot big area for grazing their animals. So there they kept them. So if there was a scarcity of fodder, they would go to another places, new places to settle there, because if the animals they do not get their green nice jungle or the nice grasses, then they had to settle uh, because after living in one place, farming was their not a main occupation, right? So they used to do some kind of vegetable productions which for having themselves. But for the animals, they need a lot of places where they could eat fresh green grasses. So when it is over, the area is completed from the surroundings. So they need the new fodder. They need the new area for the animals. So mainly many animals were reared by them. So now they needed new places so that they can take care of the animals and they can grow more animals or they can rear in an easier way. So the yeah, also there was also a crafts people, okay, craftsmen were also there. So those who build the chariots, so those who build chariots, the Aryan women, those who would spin and weave clothes. So this were also the one of the main part of doing their job, making clothes and making building of chariots. So also we can see that their lifestyle. So Aryans led a simple life, very simple life they were having. They were doing their own very blissful in a very blissful way. So they lived in houses made of wood and mud. They would build huge cattle sheds for their cows. So they had a separate sheds for cows. So from there they would get all the milk, butter, ghee, and also berries and meat, and therefore for their diet. So father was the head of the family, so male members had important position in the society. Women treated well and their presence was essential in religious ways. Religious work, ceremonies, women were playing an important role. So women were educated, several of them like Ghosha and Apala had created suktas of the Vedas. So this people who established those women who were educated, they made several Ghosha and Alpa, and they created this suktas, which was a written text of the Vedas. So how was their society? How they would get socially connected to other people? So during the period, a family was the basis of the society. Villages of township was inhabited by people of several families. So a lot of families were living together. So they all were related to each other. So everyone knew each other in the villages. Like every people know each other from different from the what is the society from the urban area. Actually we know that a lot of people stay in the urban people, but they don't know each other. They don't want to settle or they don't want to mingle with them. But not like that. In the villages, it is very different. So same way. So in the these people also had a lot of relations, a good and good number of people. They were known to everyone. So they also related to every people in the other villages. So people of several villages were collectively called Jana. Okay. At that time, there was several Janas like Purajana, Kurujana, and Yajudana, etc. and all. So these were all the some of the names they had given to different tribes or the different people, those who stayed there. So at this time, the basic needs of the people, there were several other who differentiated like lifestyles and who did not speak Sanskrit. So because of the languages, they were differentiated and they were different from the other people also. So Vedic people called them Dasa, Dasya, or the Pani. So sometimes there would be a war between these people and of the Vedic people. So because of the differences in culture and the languages, so they gave different names, and they also used to have some sorts of fights between these people and tribe. So, however, as time passed, the Vedic and non-Vedic people started interacting with each other and they started learning from each other. So in the early Vedic period, all of the people were created equally. So they treated equally. So there were no social evils, such as the caste system or the untouchability thoughts and all. They were not having at that time. But later on, we see a lot of things. After that, the social reform workers came and they opposed these things. But you can see how in the early ages also there was the new settlements. They got miss they removed all these social evils from their thoughts, and they were like a most happier people. Or the even though they were not educated, they had a lot of education in the fields of different works that they were doing. The next point is Raja. So from the Rig Veda, we learn that in those days all the male members of the Jana would select their Raja. His duty was to lead at the time of war, perform yajnas and maintain law and order. So this was the work of the Raja. So who is the main, who is the ruler, so who is like a ruler or who is like a leader. The post of Raja was not hereditary, means that is a son could not become a Raja after his death. So after the birth of another his son, he cannot become Raja. So that is not there in this tribe or in this culture. The Raja has to consult his subjects on important matter. He would not do just what he wanted. So he cannot do whatever he wanted. We see a lot of Rajas or the what a lot of stories that we see in the history that they were doing their own. They were whatever war or whatever decision the Rajas had to take, he was doing by his own. But here it is not like that. All the consultations should be taken from the people, and he cannot make anyone Raja and all. So only the people whom they decide, they only can make him, or only can select or put the under the power of Raja. So that was the system here, and which is very good in that sense. So how the war used to take place during that time? How was the war been happening there between the two Janas because of cattle and pastures? The same people had a fight or was having a problem or a fight between same people here, Janas, because of some problem with the cattle and the pastures. So they did not have a permanent army. So whenever there was a need, all men would go to fight. The Raja would be leading them, cattle, wealth, and pastures, etc of the defeated party would be distributed by the winning Raja among the people of his Jana. Raja would occasionally get gifts like milk, ghee, cow, wheat, and all, etc. From the defeated army or the defeated people. So there was not such a kind of army as such. All the peoples who were doing different kinds of work, doing work in the cattle rearing, in the field, or in the other things involved. So everyone was just called simply like that when there was a war, and everyone were going, and they if they win, then they will get all the what is that all the things from the defeated party, and the Rajas who was the leader would get some special things from the like milk from cow, everything for free. Also, the people of his Jana, out of one part would be kept by the Raja and remaining would be distributed among the people. So one half the Raja is taking, another part is given to the remaining people who led or who were in the fight. Gods and goddesses and yagna. So the people of the early Vedic era would perform yagna to please gods and goddesses. So what was their devotion towards the gods? So they would pray for children, happiness, cows, horses, freedom from decision and victory in war. So their main god were Indra, which is rain, Agni, which is fire, Varun, sky, Surya, sun, etc. So all the natural which is giving them rain, water, heat, and the sky, everything which is like in the natural, they are living in. So they were praying everything to that. So they would offer milk, curd, ghee, barley, etc. now to gods and recite Vedic suktas. Okay, so suktas that was orally transferred. So, beside praises of gods, Vedic Suktas also had descriptions of nature and thoughts related to the origin of the world. The second point was later Vedic period. So, the other three Vedas, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, were composed in this period. So, in the later Vedic period. So, in this period, Vedic culture spread from the Sindhu Saraswati region, which is nearby bank of river, to the northern Gangetic plains. So progress in agriculture resulted in development of new industries, with these new states came into existence and developed. So after the second or the later Vedic age or the period, the new results came in the form of agriculture development, industries, and the new states also came into existence under the development. Janapada, the area in which people of one jana lived was called Janapada, means one cultured people or one language speaking people like Kuru Janapada, Panchal Janapada, Suresh Janapada. So these were all like of one tribe. So that kind of people living in one area, they are called Janapada. Development in agriculture and material prosperity. So in the later Vedic period, agriculture proposed means the farmers were able to grow sulfur amount of cereals like rice, wheat, oilseed, pulses, etc. So the materialistic prosperities was being seen in the later Vedic period. There were craftsmen making new ornaments, leather items, wooden articles, etc. So different metals, especially iron, began to be used in that age. They called it Krishna Yaksh or black metal. So we get this information from the Vedic literature. So things like clay pots, iron tools, etc. of that time had been found in the excavations. So that all the things from their age, these were developed actually, and that was excavated in that area. Society and religion. So in the that period, we see that there was a joint family system. So all the brothers and people of some generations lived together in one family. So it was headed by the senior most male member. He was called Grihapati. So everyone would obey him. So he was the big of that house where they lived in a joint family. So according to the Vedic literature, a man's life was divided into four stages of ashramas. Okay, the first stage was brahmacharya. So in this age or in this stage, uh, man is a child and acquires education. Then the second stage is grahastha. Second stage is grahastha, in which man marries and leads a family life. So the third stage is vanaprastha. So in this age, man stays away from the family and meditates. So he has to get separated from the fourth stage. And in the fourth stage, in sannyasa. So in this stage, it is complete retirement from everything. So man spent his last days by visiting holy places. So that is like old age time. He is means he is getting retired from everything, all the works. Now only he is visiting and just having devotions towards God. So in the earlier period also we see most of the Grihapatis were engaged in farming and cattle rearing. They were also called Vaishyas. So these Grihapatis had people who would serve them. Occasionally, Grihapatis would send gifts to the Raja which would help in managing and expenditure of the states. So the Raja was the head of the whole Jana. Means we have seen Jana different people living in different jana. So his relatives and colleagues were called Rajyanya. Okay. Their main duty was to protect the Janapada, but at the time of war, all the males of the Jana would also join them. So, because there was no particular army as such, so they used to join for their victory. From the later Vedic literature, we learn that the Rajas and his kingsmen would perform big yagnas like Ashwamedh Yagna, Rajasuya Yagna, and etc. So these yagnas would continue for months, and a lot of money also was spent on them. So they were performed by the Brahmins and Purohits. So Brahmins would get money, cows, etc., a lot of other things for like in a donation. They believed that these yagnas would make the Raja strong and bring prosperity to the land. So doing that, they will be winning the way they will be getting more life success. In that way, they used to do all these yagnas. So in the later Vedic period, the society was divided into four Varnas. So first were Brahmins who would perform yagnas and teach Vedas. Then second was the Kshatriyas, so who cooperated in the ruling the society. The third were the Vaishyas who were engaged in farming and cattle rearing. And the fourth one was the Shudras who were engaged in doing menial services for others, like helping the poor and all. The Varna system later turned into a caste system. So now it is turned into caste system, so that the caste is based on the higher lower type. Okay. Composition of the epics. So the two great epics of our country, the two great epics of our country, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, were composed during this period. The Ramayana, which was created by Maharishi Valmiki, was based on the happenings of the Koshal Janapada. So similarly, the Mahabharata, which was composed by Maharishi Vyas, was based on the Kuru, Panchal and Shursen Janapadas. So both these epics were the foundation of the Indian culture. These epics have influenced the lives of the people in all the fields. So the study of these epics tell us the history of that time. So this was a big advanced, cultured manner that was been coming up here in this second later Vedic period.